So next day, after the truck video, I don't know when I'll get this out, but I said I was building a trellis for the women's Christmas conference that my wife's doing tomorrow night. So thought maybe someone might want to know how to build a garden trellis. Now, it's going to probably have to be heavier than this. This is going to be inside, put Christmas lights on. I don't know, women's stuff. I don't know what's going on it. But anyhow, I thought I'd bring you along and just show you what I'm doing. She said she wanted an arch like this. She said that several times. And so I'm not going like this. I'm going more like this, this, this. So anyhow, I hope... Whoop! Sonoma. So what I did, I could have done a nice big arc, string and all that junk. I didn't. I did what I usually do. So this piece is 5 feet long. The trellis is going to be 4 feet on the inside. Took a center line, marked 2 feet there and 2 feet there, made 4 feet. Then I came back a little bit and put a nail, a finished nail. And I just took the trusty old drywall square, put a nail in the middle, bent it here. So put the nail on this side, and then put the nail on the inside here. So it would stay there, mark it and cut it. Good enough. It's not really, it's not rocket science. Then I take this out. If I had a longer blade for my jigsaw, or if I had a bandsaw, I would have nailed these together and done this one shot. But again, I'm just throwing something together. So there's an idea here that you can use. Great. And I don't know if I might straighten this out a little bit. It's jigsaw cut, but it is what it is. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna cut that out. I gotta go down the other building and rip these in half. These are gonna be my uprights. And it's going to be fairly simple, as you'll see. I didn't think to say, so I've cut that piece off of there, right? Arch. I'll take that piece and you put it on here. Now you have a, well, that's going to be pulled together quite a lot. But anyhow, screw that, nail it, glue it, whatever you want to do. If I was doing this outside, I would do it at a cedar. Composite material's okay, but it's not structural. It'd be good enough for this. If you're doing like a grape arbor or something, that it would be longer, I would do cedar. Don't do pressure treated if you're gonna have food. So anyhow, that's my 2 arches. I'll nail that one on there. I'll probably plane this down. You can actually plane this with a regular hand plane. Take one of these little, you can actually get a stubby one, but this one here is my favorite. I've used it for a lot of years. And the more of the angle you go, the less flat, if you know what I'm saying. Just hit them high spots on that. That's all. If you don't have one of these, don't worry about it. I mean, you can make it as nice as you want. It's your project. And, make your wife happy, or your husband. There's crafty women out there. My daughter's pretty handy with her hands. She's pretty handy. So, friend, neighbor, whatever. And it just puts more of a round in it. Takes the high spots off. Not a big deal. That one's easy, obviously. And make sure you don't dig in too much, but I would wait till I nail it on there. There's a hump right there you can see. So, wait till it's fastened on there. Oops. Wait till it's fastened on here, and then go about it the same way. Countersink your nails or screws so you don't hit them. I'm going to do this inside so I can have screw head showing in the top, not a big deal. If you're doing it outdoor, you don't want to do that if you can help it, because water will lay in there unless you fill it. But I don't really know what filler would stay, or keep them flush so the water doesn't, don't make a pocket for the water to sit in. I live in New Mexico, so it lasts forever. Hardly rains here, so yep. So like I've said, it's really hard to make a video when I'm making stuff. I've had phone calls, texts, like stuff going on. Someone I work for, someone from the church about stuff. So I've never seen these. I used to use them in Maine. There's a trim head. There's a camera on that thing. You can't see the sun's on my face. It's a trim head. It's a Robertson square. Tiny head. I'm just using them because I have them. But screwing this together could be a little overkill. You know, I'm going to actually staple the rest of it together. Because, you know, that's the way it is. So I don't want to put big giant long screws in here. Whoops. I'm just pre-drilling them because the pine, it'll follow the grain when you're going out through the edge sometimes. Go crooked. Especially when it lines up with the other piece, it'll go off a little bit. So I'm just doing that. And the other thing about these trim head screws is you can drive them really deep because the head's small. So that's that. I know I had some high spots. Again, back with the plane. When I was in construction, always had one of these in my apron, especially when we were doing trim and stuff. Just I want to go up that grain, I want to go down it. That's the reason I'm turning it around. And you can just hit the high spots off it. Again, if you don't have one of these, I have a belt sander too. It's a little bit harder to tell. The belt sander. Yeah, see, that round is pretty good. I'm not sure if I'm painting this yet. I haven't got my orders from headquarters. Anyhow, that's going to be the top. I'm going to leave these shelves on here, I think. If she wants them off. I think that's... Anyhow. The other one. And actually, I would have glued this on here if I actually had some glue. I live 15 miles from town, so no, not so much. Oh, there we go, center line marked on that. Same thing. Line up the center. Line this up. Good. I actually like these square screws. They don't hardly ever rip out. I'll do. Really, these aren't more into. I mean, if they were longer, if I had some longer ones of these, I would do it. But by the time I countersink that in there, that'll be fine. It's not structural. Felt that move. That's okay. And I'm going to make this thing just take it apart and store it because the thing that I'm doing it for is an annual event. You might live in a place like Maine, where I'm from, that if you had something like this, you'd want to take it and put it away in the winter so the snow doesn't wreck it. Actually, obviously, if it's growing plants, you can't. Unless you cut them back, but I don't think grapes and stuff you cut back, so but anyhow, there it is. Clean that up and get out and rip these, and then when I start to assemble this, you can see what it is, and I'll just bring you along. Okay, I went down to my other building and cut these. Yeah, it's gonna be, not a big deal. Probably gonna, I don't know, probably make it like 16 inches deep. Put some pieces across here. We put something on the bottom for a foot so it doesn't go this way. Yeah, I don't know. So I started doing that, and I've never built one of these before either. So let me figure out some stuff. Get some more material cut, and I'll show you assembling it. So this, the other garage that I keep having to come down to, and this is, from there, if I walk, it's way out, that's green, that little green spot, that's the back of the garage, that's the pool house, that's the house. So you have to walk through this gate, there's another gate over there through the door, another gate. So just for time's sake, I just do this, and I run back and forth. And so this is my other garage, which is really nice. I just keep it's not really nice, but it's got some natural light, storage. It's limited. Floor's all broke up. It was like a ½ inch thick. So I drove my diesel in here a couple times, and that really squashed it. But anyhow, I can use it for the table saw. Chop saw is okay, but all I have for electricity is just this little panel. I think it's got like number 10 wire. So yeah, you can run some stuff. That does not work, just in case you're wondering. I want to make a phone call. But it's a cement building. It's got insulated roof. So this is what I run down for. I don't have room for this in my other garage. Someday I would like to actually make this more useful. Videos coming up, I'm going to be building some cabinets for a commercial kitchen, a Christian camp that I'm involved with. They need some storage. So if you want to see how I build those, they're not cheaper than store-bought ones. The material's expensive. 3/4 inch plywood. You know, I'm going to paint it so I can get away with some lesser grade. They don't care about that. If you want to see how I construct the boxes and all that, that'll be coming up. I used to build a lot of cabinets. Well, not a lot, but a few in Maine. One of the things I really enjoyed. So just, you know, if that's something you want to see, subscribe and hit the notifications, and you'll know when it comes up. So let me get this done. Ask yourself, why is there so many gates? There's this one here. All right, walk into the sun. Pool house, which is closed down for now. A little area back here. May look nice. It's cold. Probably 50 degrees. There's that other garage. Gate there, gate there. Why is there so many gates? Because we have free range cattle on our property. They're not our property. They're not our cattle. Whoop, son. They're not our cattle. They're our neighbors. Well, New Mexico's a fence-out state. So if you wanted to fence these cattle out, you have to fence out the property. We have 18 acres. That would probably be $10,000 or $15,000. But you get a credit on your property tax. So, and it's quite a lot. So anyhow, we have those, and to their grazing. We have sheep and chickens over there, which that is, I fenced in a couple acres there. Did it myself. Drove like 70 T-posts. That was fun. So if we keep this door open, the cattle will go in there. They like our green lawn. But anyhow, back here, I'm going to throw this thing together. I'll figure out what I'm doing and then bring you in. So this is what I'm talking about with the square. That's kind of a sharp bend for it, but a little bend back. It's aluminum. And I just measured the center, stuck a nail here, but how much of an arch I wanted. Back here a little bit. Took the square, bent it in there, marked it out, and cut a jigsaw. Cut it with a jigsaw. Mark another one like it. I'll probably take this piece. I'll probably take this curve and put the top. I'm gonna do something with it. I'm not sure. But anyhow, that's what I'm doing. I'm winging it. That's how I do things. It's in my head. Just gotta get it onto a piece of wood. I moved inside because the wind is blowing crazy out there. and get sawdust in my eyes. So anyhow, I don't know if you could tell on this sped up version, but I measured where the holes go. Look, you can put them anywhere you want. A little OCD, so now I gotta have them similar. So personal choice, and I don't care. It's your project. Like I said, do whatever you want. I was out of business. I broke my blade, but I found another one. So again, just like you saw before, throw this on here. I have a finished nail gun too. That's a staple gun. That's a brad and staple gun. So it's just what I have. It's what I'm using. You could do, put tack nails. You could put finish nails, hand nail it. You could pre-drill them and get some small screws. Options. All kinds of options. Put one in each of these to square up the whole thing. Again, I'm not measuring a whole lot here. I'm just close enough for parallel. So when I do this, and the only reason I cut an arc on these is when they're sitting on the floor, it's less tippy. I don't know. If I put a flat piece across here, it's a tile floor, and there's a high spot in the middle, it would be all over the place. Again, doing this by yourself. Whoops. Kind of a pain. I know the sound isn't much, and I'm just using my phone. I have a Galaxy S23, 23S over there. And I think it does a good job. All my videos were done on Samsung phone. I know you Apple people get all bent out of shape if it's not an Apple, but my phone's as good as yours is. And it's what I got. Again, so it's got a great camera on it. Matter of fact, when I was getting a new one, our secretary was looking it up for me, and she was comparing it to her iPhone 14 that she had, and this is actually a better camera. So whether you're offended by that or not, whatever, it's facts. You can look it up. The 15, I don't know. The iPhone 15. I don't know what the deal is with that. We were just comparing the one she had, because she said her camera was so good. And they are, we don't carry cameras anymore because, it doesn't make any sense. So I'm just random. I just did some random 8 inches from the top, 8 inches from the bottom, and I'm putting 16 between them, 16 and a half, whatever it comes out to. I'm really, again, I'm just throwing this together. It's not critical. When it's up, you're not going to notice any of these things unless you measure it. Well, and that's how it is. So that's what I did. I measured this and I said, okay, 51. I really want to get the spaces between them. Take these, lay them up against there. Take this 49.5, divide that by 3. That would be how much between each. Well, I do that except my phone's up there. So 49.5. So 16 times 3 is 48. And 1.5. This is how it's half. So again, 16.5. 16.5. And where's this going to? 16.5. Huh. So that's it. Move a little bit, not much. So like I said, she's gonna decorate this, so it's really just a hold. Whatever she's putting on here. That is not my department, although, you know, it might be when we get over to the gym and start setting up. There's my other side. Okay, now we have that. Now we have our top. Okay, so that's the other side. And if this falls and hits my wife's car, I'm gonna be in big trouble. That's what we're doing. That's it. I don't know, I may go up as high as, I don't know if we got the Amazon women coming or not, but I'll probably measure down a couple inches. We'll go back to, of course this is not going to stand up now because there's pieces on there. I'm going to screw this together because I'm not going to bring it over there in one piece, and I'll probably be storing it. So, and 2 inches. And I'm just randomly picked that because I don't want to make sure those posts aren't sticking up past the top of this. So we're gonna go like this. So I'm gonna get a screw. So that's gonna be 1.5 inches. What do I do with my screw box? It's over here. So I can tell you I built one of these 30 years ago. At least 30 years ago. One's for screws, and I got another one on the shelf for finishing nails. Handiest things. Lost a lot filling the first, but then you always have something that's a little bit long. This also might be around kids, so I don't want to have a kid that's gonna stick a screw in their finger. And then we'll just pick a random distance from the end. Well, I wanted 4 feet between them, not that it matters. 47. So I could go. That's 59. I don't know why I cut it 59, but anyhow. And 1.5. 24. Take this apart once I do this, but that's not the right screw tip. I'm going to put the pieces on the top too. Should be draping stuff over there. I didn't measure these, no. Anyhow, it is what it is. Square this up again in a minute. Probably gonna end up putting some kind of braces in this. This will be all floppy. It'll be all floppy. That's that. Come back with my square that I straighten back out after bending it. And let's see. Obviously, when you're sitting this on the floor, I'm not going to need to do that, but it doesn't work if these aren't parallel. 53. Oh, yeah, right on. So, I was going to say good enough, but it's perfect. So, well, it wasn't. It was a 16th off. But perfect enough for this guy. See how sturdy it is once I get these. And try to flip it over without breaking it. And then I'll tack some pieces to the top, and then I'll take it apart and put the rest of them. It's not heavy, so it's going to be like this, one on the other side. Again, that was 2 inches on the top. Pieces. So this was 6 feet. I believe. Yeah, 6 feet. So that's going to be 6 feet. There aren't that many women that are 6 feet. There could be, but. Again, my cameraman, he ain't much, but he's the one I can afford. He's really good. He doesn't charge hardly anything. He doesn't make anything either. I never did these ever thinking I would ever make money. How it started was a person had told me I should make a video on how to do these things that I do. I grew up in a family that always did all this stuff, so it's kind of odd to me the people that don't know how to do it. Had a construction company in Maine. My 2 boys worked for me, which involved housing and commercial. So we did residential and we did steel buildings as well. So we did most everything that we needed. Always was a backyard mechanic. We pulled motors and all kinds of things. So I have a bald spot on my head. Does it show? I don't think so. My wife was kind enough to not say anything if there is. Okay. So there it is. It's not terrible. Let's see, it's not much to it. I bought a 1x6. I bought a 1x6 10 that may be 2 5-footers. I bought a 1x6 12. These are less than, they aren't much. Lumber's not great to get here. All you can get is, I would call that number 2 pine. There's no select, there's no number 1, there's no number, the number 2 and there's number 3 and number 4. But these knots are half dollar size. Some of them, they're loose, they fall out. So I think that might be number 3. It's all you can get. So I bought 1x6. Then I had to cut it down because they were so bad I had edges I wanted to cut off. So This is it. I'm going to throw a couple on top so my spacing is right. And then I'll probably just pull this apart. Well, get approval first. And then I'll pull this apart. Yeah. Alright, so I didn't have any more of that stock, so I got stuff. It's going to be different. I don't know. Let's see what it is. Just going to go by what you think. What does it look like? Figured there was a foot on the top. Should be hanging stuff. I got 6 pieces. Put one out on the edge. Put one back a little bit maybe. Hard telling, not knowing. You just do whatever you think. Put your eyeball up. Tie it up. Look at it, change it, move it. I don't know. What I do, may not be, I just put a finger on each end, measure in. It's like, yeah, good enough. Put a couple in this because it would be a little more rigidity. She's pretty floppy, but so it's about an inch in, which is, if you're doing stuff by yourself, it's the length of your finger, the first knuckle. An inch each side. About an inch from the end. That's something like that. Yeah. Got a jam. Dry. Didn't put any oil in it. Well, plungers stuck out. Things happen. I don't have oilers on these. I used to when I was doing a lot of work, but I just put a few drops in, which I didn't do. So this is what you get. Probably wouldn't recommend doing this. Pounding on the end of your nail gun. Maybe you didn't see that. Try it again. No. Alright. Yeah, let me pull that apart. See what's going on. I just dumped some oil in it, and it seemed to come right around, but I did notice this. These get stepped on or something. So they're pinching a little bit. I don't know where this camera is, if you're seeing any of this or not. But anyhow, I'm just prying them back apart. I don't have a lot of these, I don't think. Again, it's one of those things you don't buy very often because I don't use it a lot. I do use it like on soffits and different things. I got nails. I actually do have staples now. These are nails. They're only 3/4 inch. Those are 1 inch. Actually, I can use 3/4 on these little ones that I have. Because I remember why I had 3/4 to 1 inch. That I was working on. They're pretty short, but if you're doing like 1/4 inch plywood or something, it's alright. Alright, we'll try this again. Oh yeah, it was in there. Right. Okay. I'm blowing oil everywhere now, so Alright, so now I'm back to this. So I have about 54 inches. Let's move them all here, see what our space between them is going to be. Okay, so I have 47 inches. So 47 inches, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 5 spaces. So 47 divided by 5, it's going to be 9, right? 45, 2, 9.5. Good enough for what we're doing here. I've got an inch overhang, 9.5. Just lay them out. Make sure I didn't make any mistakes in my math, because I've done that before, even though I used to teach math. We all make mistakes. 9.5. It doesn't seem. Well, I guess that's going to be okay. All right. So 9.5. Back to that. Oh, that was 8.5. Okay, 9.5. Overhang, and we'll just go from this side just so it's not, there's a space different, it'll be just on the top in the middle. Okay, so that side, we'll do the same, throw a square on it, finish tacking it up. That's how we go. Yeah, nothing fancy. So we want to sit here and figure it all down to the fraction. 9.5, 9.5, this time wouldn't that be a 9 3/4, or 9 7/8, so. Does it matter? Not to me. And it's not going to matter to anybody else either that's there. It takes very little to please some people. My wife is easy to please. Obviously, she's with me. No, do I get a nail on it? Let's go get 2 in it. Try to have 2 come out at once, and that's it. So let me grab you here. So I think I'm going to put this back together. See, this is where I probably should have measured the screw holes and drilled them. That way there they'd fit no matter what way it went. But I think I might put a small block here and one here just to throw it together. It's done. That's where it needs to go. Screw it in there. But that's it. That's scratch my wife's car, I'll be in trouble. Big trouble. By the time she puts stuff all over it. Now if you're doing this outside, of course you could add more side pieces. You want to put some corner bracing in here, probably. I mean, it's not terrible, but where we live here, spring and the wind in the spring, it's hard here. It's very wide open. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there. That's all there is to it. Not sure if I'm going to paint it. I don't know. But anyhow, there it is. A Trellis or Arbor I'm not really sure.